one of you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Good timing, everybody, whether it's morning, evening, or anywhere in between. Welcome to unRekt Traders. Today we're taking a look at Bitcoin. Just had a nice push up, and we are currently on the Nexus first. Normally I do the machine, but we're going to take a look at this one. In the last video, talked about us moving up into the pivot range here because we were on a monthly naked. I believe it was like a 13%, but we were basically down here at the bottom here. And I said that we'd have to come up into that monthly naked for the 9 to 13%, I believe it was 12. So we did get that 12%. We did start to go bearish one more time. However, we had this bullish pattern here, taking out liquidity at this level on the weekly, and then pushing up into this new weekly format, and then we went bullish here, and then basically coming up into that 66,000 that I talked about in the last video. That I said that if we did break this, we'd come up into this range here and basically hit resistance right away with this shelf, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. So we'll see if we can get above this level and into this previous monthly and break free. But I also said that, for truly become bullish, we kind of have to get above this monthly R1 or above this upper monthly pivot at 69,700. So there is still quite a bit, but the nice thing is we did get that 10 to 12% over here. This morning I also did a video on ontology for the basically same thing, 10 to 13%, and I believe we've already gotten 9% of that. So congrats to the viewers that watched it and took the trade. And for Bitcoin itself now, what are we looking for? Well, in the last video I said basically coming up into resistance here, maybe taking liquidity at this level here up to that weekly R2 or monthly R1, and then from there try to take out liquidity to the further direction to that 53,000. Now as long as we stay above this range here, we are bullish obviously. We'll have to get through this one. Now if we do fail to take above the monthly R1 or previous month high, then we're not really bearish again on Bitcoin until we break below the lower range, and then we can start looking for that monthly S1, monthly S2 to the 53,000 that I've been talking about for quite some time now. Now is it possible that we go full bullish 100%? That previous month high is at the 72,700, and to be truly bullish from the previous month, that's the level we have to get to. We did take out the previous month low, so technically this month is really done for the most part. They took out the previous month low, criteria were met, and then we shot right into the monthly pivot, and it was a successful month for the most part, especially for those that took the trade. And I could also conclude that we hit this naked monthly this month as well. So we skipped over this one, but we nailed it on the next month. And that's typically what you see. If you don't see it on the first month or the first pivot, then you'll typically see it on the second pivot. If you don't see it on the second pivot, then the average is 4 or 5 to kind of come back into that. So we skipped it on the first month after the naked, and we nailed it on the second. All right, so let's take a look at the machine here. And we'll see what the machine is kind of saying. We'll jump up to the monthly. And although the monthly there's not a ton to say about, just because we are stuck within that range. So we're basically support at 54,250, which is actually extremely strong support. The 10 just leveled off at the top of that plus 100. And so that target for 46.7 isn't really there. Now, would we expect to see that this month? Obviously not, just because of the strong support. Now, we could get a wick down, but even that wick would technically more or less stop at this support level here. So again, let's just say 54.2 up to 87.4 is our range that we're stuck in for this month, and likelihood even next month. On the weekly itself, came down to support on the 50. The 10 was somewhat low, not extensively low, but it did start to pop up. When we got that pop up, we got to move straight to that 10 as expected. So we're sitting on that 10 as of right now. Now we haven't tried to really break free of this 20 Bollinger Band, which is white. We could say that we more or less hit this target here, which we were kind of had that mean reversion starting, let's say April 8th. So we got the mean reversion down to the 20, and we popped back up to that 10, and then we do have resistance at 71,200. Now that's more or less the top levels to kind of go full bull. And if we actually got above that resistive level, odds are we'd either take liquidity and then come down to support, or continue a bullish pattern up to the 3.2, which is now sitting at 92,000. So will it try to break free of the 20? Typically, it'll always try to break free once. We'll see how that kind of plays out. I'm leaning more towards that it won't, but the possibility is definitely there. And, it could surprise me, take out liquidity and just continue to run. Or, we do stop at this 10, find resistance at this level, and then push down, take out liquidity, coming down to that support at 54, or even to the 100 Bollinger Band here at 51,000. On the 3-day, we do still have that possible target down here. We did come into that 100. Now the 100 was just sitting at the top, so it's kind of a weak support resistance level. But same thing, 100 tried to break out, it failed. And this is actually a pretty good indicator that odds are we won't break free of this resistive level again. So we'll see how it does go, but 69,500 is kind of our upper limit, and then we'll see how bullish we can kind of get at that level. Odds are we'll likely probably fail and then come down to this possible target to the 200 at 52.8. Let's just say 53,000. That's kind of the shelf. This shelf here is kind of what we're looking for, and then we'll see where price wants to go after that. Whether does it want to completely collapse and go bearish, or go full bull and make new record highs. On the daily itself, we have the 50 kind of came down to support on the 50, becoming at this level here is really weak support resistance. We saw the mean reversion on the 200, which is kind of more or less come into effect since, let's say, April 24th. So that mean reversion to the 50, let's just say 52,000 is still there. And we're just kind of pumping up to that top of the 200 here, which is resistance, which is purple, 66,848. So we kind of came up to that resistive level. We are hitting that resistance on not only the nexus, but here as well. And it did come in once. It already popped out. Now we're retesting it. So that is a good indicator that likely will be it. Now, the only thing I can say just by looking at price action is that on price action itself, we do have this little imbalance on this candle here still on the daily. So it is very possible that we do take out liquidity here, which would be perfect move actually. Take out the liquidity at this level, push up into here, and then down into the 53,000 level. Price action wise, coming up into this and then down would be the most perfect move, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. And then coming down into the 4 hour. So the 4 hour levels, we are kind of starting to push that 3.2 levels. However, the 10, well, even the 20, the 10 is starting to push down. Everything's still in the trend to the upward direction. But once the 10 does come down, price will actually really just want to shoot back to that 200 at 63.2, and that would be kind of our supportive resistance shelf here for this range from basically from here. So that would be our shelf level right there at that 63, let's just say. So basically to the 200. Now, can we get up into here? It's possible. We do have that 3.2 at 67 on the 4 hour. We are in an expanding Bollinger Band. We see that the 20 here on the one slip has started to move up into trend, so that momentum is there. And there actually is quite a bit of potential for movement and to go further up, actually. And you can kind of see that here where we were in the downward direction. Everything was to the negative side on the quasi here. And then as everything was negative and we moved up into trend, we had that nice push down. And we're kind of seeing the same thing where everything's positive on the quasi. We're pushing up into trend. So that move, that potential is there to continue up, possibly even into the 68,000 level, 69. And then from there, we'll see what happens. Or we just run out of steam completely at this supportive level, running into the previous Nexus Monthly's resistance, and then down to the 62, 63 level again. Or, well, actually 53, what am I saying? So we'll see how it plays out. More or less, everything's looking pretty good for profit-wise. in the unRekt stuff. And hope you guys liked the content. If you did, hit the like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.
Visit unRekt.me and download our free powerful indicators. And join our community of traders in our Discord server and get full access to the Machine Suite Indicators, the Nexus Suite Indicators, and the Nexus Screener.